this is what we need to talk about, because while people want to unify and get the belt sorted out and everything moving correctly, some people say no because, you know, I'm going to work out your allegiances, where you're from and countries and that. So anyway, let's talk about the light heavies, because I think it's a good discussion to have right now. It's on the broader scale. What we want to see in the light heavyweight division is probably the division that we really started up this pod with. And Boatsie's fighting this week. You've got your things to say on Boatsie. How you see what is next, how you feel his movement should be. My understanding, and just quickly deliver this one. My understanding for Boatsie is, I understand why he hasn't taken the title shots. I think yes, it's cool going up and attempting to be great, but then you want to give yourself the best chance. If you know you haven't uncovered every stone, there's no point going there if you know you're clearly not ready. I'm not talking about being a title winner and not fighting. I'm talking about someone that thinks, you know what, maybe I'm not ready for that title shot. That's where I am with Boatsie.
Yeah, okay, fine. But like, we're not talking about someone that just started.
Yeah.
So it's a bit harder to sell that story with Boatsie. He's an Olympian from the 2016 Olympics. Like, didn't he came in with Joe Cordina, bro. Joe Cordina is a world champ right now.
Yeah.
So that means you're gonna have to admit, for us to really you're gonna have to see, like, to kind of explain to us that you've wasted mad time. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, absolutely. I think that goes to show, if you change your trainer in your latter years of your fighting, right? I think he's been with, who's the guy that he's with? The American Virgil. Yeah, he's with Virgil, right? And he's had what, 1 or 2 fights with him now. You know, that's a brand new relationship, and as you said, in his 30s,
I don't know that it's brand new. I mean, all right,
it's fresh, because I think what's the name said he hooked him up with him. Fighters Right, Spencer, saying that he helped broker that deal or something.
Yeah, but how long has he been under him now? So he's been training with him for the Craig Richards fight. Was it within the fight before as well?
Mm-hmm.
So they've had this coming up to what, 2 years essentially. So realistically, it's like, well, unless no work is being done, unless your fights are scheduled, which should not be the case, then bro, it's time to get out there. Do you know what I'm saying? I know that, you know, see, this is the thing, yeah. It's like, on one hand, you look at the business side of things, and when he starts to talk about, you know, boxers, you know, they've got to manage their career and make their money and I'm like, cool. But you were at Matchroom. Do you know what I'm saying? You were at Matchroom, you were under Eddie, your brand was there to be built. All that was needed was the crazy run of wins that takes you to that space. Because as much as we put a lot of stock into profile, the winning thing, that's the best accolade that you can put against your name.
But people got in the way, though. People got in the way. And when I say people got in the way, I'm talking the main one that we have to think about now is, because even though we diced with it with that relationship with Bivol's first fight with Craig Richards. I don't know if that formed the relationship with Matchroom and stuff, but you started to see Bivol about the zone. It was kind of like, raw, this guy's here. Yeah, then after it's like, Bivol just wouldn't go away. And then after you say, well, he can do what Boatsie can do, maybe a bit better, because let's have it right. When yes, Bivol's here, but then I've got Craig, and I do have Craig, and I do have Boatsie, and I'm like, you know what? Let them fight, because he's here, innit? And this guy's this guy, I can work with this guy. So while this guy's knocking out, this guy's doing exactly what Boatsie does. Yeah, he speaks another language. Now he's worked on his English, so you actually hear him. Bivol speak a lot more in English, a lot more. Bivol's raised his profile way higher than Boatsie's, and he's like, well, you're both here. I might just go this way with him, because he's turning down title shots.
No, but the problem is, see, now in our game, right? When you're a comic and you're doing your thing and another comic's coming through, there's never a time you and him are gonna go head to head. As much as in your mind you might think, I'm gonna show them, man, I'm levels. It's never a head to head. It's never gonna be that. This game is exactly that. If somebody is moving into your thing, you can actually put hands on my man, right? So my thing is, the only thing that changes these dynamics that are at play, I get it. You were the guy. Another guy showed up. He's now in the thing. You're in the business. You're in this business, and it's competitive. This is where you've got to show why you are you, or why you are where you are.
But what if I'm not ready yet? What if I'm not?
That's the problem. You can't not be ready and get upset by someone who's absolutely the guy right now. You can't. So when you're saying, "Oh, they're not pushed," bro, man are ready to go. You're saying you're not ready to go. We understand injuries. We understand certain movements in the camp and the business side of things. I get it. But at the end of the day, the bottom line in this thing here, fights, peas. You're not fighting. You're not making peas. And when you do fight, maybe you're not making as much peas as some other guys are making, as much as other guys are making. So then it's one of those things where it's like, the only way you're going to boost your stock, yeah, you're obviously not prepared to be a profile guy. You went over to Sky Sports. The profile thing has not changed. The behavior has not changed. Nothing is different. You're still going to be you. The only thing that's going to be your currency is the winning.
But do you think, dear, that these boxers are sensitive everywhere? Yeah, that's one thing we've learned. Yeah, do you think there's a little part of him that's like, wait a minute, though? Frank Warren is sticking beside Yard, come hell, high water, anything, and it's like, bro, like, I don't even know, like, you kind of like you shun me just a little bit. I don't think we can not play. I don't like you shun me just a bit too, you know what I mean? It's like I don't even get that same level of like he's lost and he's still number one. There's clear that he's still the main person that he's thinking about. And I think maybe boxers do demand some level of loyalty. And I get what you say that maybe it'd be wrong to think that or maybe wrong to want that. But in Eddie's terms, Eddie has shown loyalty to fighters that have lost before. Eddie showed loyalty to fighters that it's gone the wrong way. So it's not, and I'm not just talking about in AJ, I'm talking about throughout. He's shown like, you know what, you're my guy, we'll get you back out there, we'll do this. And he's probably thinking, well, when do I get that from this guy? Because he probably thought, raw, when he went in there with Craig, why am I fighting Craig? You know, the ones when he's like, you know what I mean? Like, raw though, like, this is a bit weird that me and him are meeting now. And I know for us, for the fight fans, but I'm just trying to get into the mindset of like a Buatsi or into the mindset of the fighter and how they're probably feeling at certain situations, because everyone, like Dillian knows his position in terms of with Eddie. He's always known his position. He's not even been none the wiser. He knows that I have to claw to get in front of him so I get my opportunity. Whereas for Buatsi, he hasn't had to claw. He's like, it's the Olympic, he done. I ain't clawing for nothing. His hair, fam. We know what we're doing now. Not saying that he hasn't worked hard. I'm saying that he was the main seed. He was the main guy. Now everything's changed.
I hear it, but it's one of those things. Hard. Yeah, it's got to be hard if you're sentimentally wired that way. Do you know what I'm saying? And this is why it's good for me and you to come in these conversations, because I feel like you understand the sentimental part of things a bit more. Yeah. Whereas I absolutely don't acknowledge it. I don't register it. Even if I'm in a situation where somebody is sentimentally being down for me, I am very aware that this thing is a kill or be killed environment, and I won't ever change my gear on that. So if Watsy is now sensitive because of those things, that's a shame. That's a shame. But that's all it's going to be, is a shame, right? I won't notice that they might have had a deep friendship that we just did never see or really understand. But at the end of the day, you are in this business to do your job. Do you understand? And if you look at this thing in a sensitive way, it's going to be quite tough, because the world is not, everybody don't think like that. Everyone isn't nice. Strangers might smile and appear decent. That man will do you something if you are not on job. So I look at the whole situation with Watson and I'm like, bro, you have to understand, like, you got to deliver. You haven't delivered. You haven't met the expectation. And that's the hard part. And this is why it's like, you look at what AJ's done with that expectation that's been on his name. And he's kind of showed up and carried this thing to to the best of his ability. You know what I mean? Had some slips and da-da-da-da-da. But when you've earned that much stock with somebody like your Eddie Hearn will say, you lost to Ruiz, bruv, well, I'm here. I'm firmly on the speedboat with you. It got bumpy just there, but we're still moving. Whereas Watsy's like, the injuries, there's the slow movement, the decline in title shots. I understand what you're saying about fighting when you're ready, but this game, I don't know if we want the culture where I'm going to take the fight if I can win. I don't know.
We're gonna get into that conversation later.
But look at it though. You've worked into a mandatory spot. You've done the work to get there. You can't sit there and say, I'm not ready. That's a problem. If he was getting the shot like how Yard is getting the shot, where it's like, I don't know if he's necessarily mandatory, but he's getting the Hail Mary, and he's like, I'm down, whatever. Then I'd say, yeah, cool. Watsy, Yard said yes, but you want to say no to that? I don't wrong you. I hear it. But you mandatory.
I just think it's scatty. I think even the fact that that came out from where it came from lets me know everything about relationship and stuff. So while it's, I get that, I hear the cut and dry side. I hear it totally, but in life, it's never cut and dry, fam.
No,
That's
it's
one
not.
thing.
But
It's never cut and dry. So while it's like, I get it, like this is how it's supposed to go, but there's shades of gray all the time. So it's like raw, like a man's gonna, even if he just has to deep it for a second and he thinks, raw, is that how you're moving? Yeah. And that could just be it. Like it might not be what you call it. It's just like for me, for instance, I'm the kind of person that I'll take the offense and stuff, but I've just noted it. I'm gonna say, okay. Do you know what I'm saying? Doesn't change that I might move this way and go in the way that I have to head. But now I know, oh, that's how you move. Does that make sense? And I think certain times, especially with the breakdown of relationship, that information doesn't come out until, and it's made us form an opinion of Boatsy, which is unfortunate. So what's name knew what he's doing.
Let's be
It
clear,
is true. That thing doesn't come out that way.
Let's be clear. That opinion on Boatsy being inactive and not stepping up has not just
No,
started because of
being
what Eddie
active.
Hearn
No,
said.
being active. Absolutely, turning down title fights. We haven't heard that. That was new. That was just given to us, and it's part of the. Now we put it that when we do the ingredients or we're making the thingy, we're talking about a dish. We're saying, yo, this guy is turning down fights where everyone else is brave. So it kind of makes him look a certain way. That's how. That's how I interpret it like that.
I'm not rolling.
Why would he say it then?
Fact is, no, I hear you. No, I understand the saltiness from Hearn and the breakup. I get that. I'm not pushing back on that. But what I am saying is, our boxing logic will show us Yard can get a shot, Craig can get a shot, Aziz is not far from getting a shot. Brother, you can get a shot. It's not going to be hard for us to figure out that at some point you would have had to say no to it. Unless these men are holding it from you, which is clearly not the case. Because even before the fallout, the Bivol Boatsy fight was being talked up, and then suddenly it just went quiet. Now we know it went quiet because it was declined.
I hear what you're saying, bro. But then I did a pushback and just say, I remember when Dillian turned down the shot from AJ, and for Dillian's reasons, why he just said it's turned down, right? And Dillian goes, well, they didn't offer me enough. Like I wasn't getting paid enough, so yeah, I'm turning it down. But then it's like, but he was screaming for a title shot. So when you give the context, it'll make things more clear. The only issue with what you call it is when we listen to the coach, and the coach came out and said, hey, like the coach didn't even give the good soundbite. Yeah, we're not ready for that. Like it's like, huh?
What I'm saying.
That like you lot didn't even realize how bad. Like again, it's smoke and mirrors and what I mean. Smoke and mirrors. That's the whole game, and you lot are not playing it right. But what I am happy about is, look, he's fighting this week in Birmingham, and then I hope the call out is real. I hope again, as I put out those pictures, a lot of these men are not going to see each other. Unfortunately, Bivol and Batavia are not going to see each other. Bivol's got his eyes firmly set on Canelo. On
that note,
Batavia, I don't know who Batavia's got.
He's right now. I don't think Batavia ain't got nobody.
Batavia ain't got a real opponent at the moment, but he's the problem. If Boatsy was serious, he'd say, you know what, Batavia, let's go.
Nah, he's not.
That's a crazy fight. I'd rather fight Bivol than Batavia personally. If I'm Boatsy, if I'm choosing, I'm going for Bivol. I think that what you call it is, I think that the aggression that I think I possess, that I could out aggressive Bataviev, he's got that in abundance. So there's like, I'll go that way. I'll try and stick it on the other guy. That's a bit of they call him the slicker boxer. Don't get twisted. Bivol can bang, but Bataviev is just what my key attribute is, what I will need. He has that already. You know what I mean? So yes, long. This guy's 100% knockout rating, 100%.
Yeah, it's
not like 100%.
Bro, it's literally like two of me's. It's like just me combined with another me. Can you imagine how ferocious that is?
You make me sick.
You know what the thing is, yeah? You know what the bad thing about obviously Boatsy is that? And it's like I'm a Boatsy fan. Like you see how like man have a team in the World Cup. Yeah, and then their team is like, if their team's not playing, there's another team that they keep an eye on.
Yeah.
That's like how I'm a fan of
Brazil.
Boatsy.
The light Brazil.
It's like England go out, we're Brazilian now for the rest of the way.
Yeah.
That's how I look at Boatsy. So I don't want to ever be framed as someone who don't like Boatsy just because I'm a Yard fan. But I think the disappointment, the disappointment is setting in on the fact it's like, bro, you've got so much and you're doing so little.
Yeah.
Like, I understand you kind of put it on the zone. It's got to feel different on Sky. The pressure is on to
Yeah.
feel different from you, and it doesn't.
Well, but again, just to give him some bell, just a small bell, even though he probably doesn't really deserve it in this moment, it's the fact of like fighters only talk when they got a fight coming up, which is wrong. Fighters need to stay kind of in the boxing eye, like they have to try their best to stay not like forcing things to be relevant, but just stay in the conversation, like stay within the mix. We can't just hear from you in the on fight week, and then we don't hear from you again. And if you're fighting twice a year, once a year, bro, that means we need to hear from you for 4 days
Let
in
me
a
ask you a
year.
question though. Let me ask you a
It's
question though.
crazy.
How
Go
many
ahead.
how many superstar seats are there in boxing? As in,
Superstar seats.
how much room is there for?
It
Because
depends
really,
what you.
because
It
I think
depends. No, it depends on the fighter because you can become a superstar. You can attach your. I've seen people that haven't been superstars attach their name to superstars and ride the coattails of them guys, and then get relevant. So you can do it. Like I wasn't talking about Bacoli at all. I wasn't thinking about him. Didn't wake up any day in my life and say, you know, Ro, I know what Bacoli's doing. Yeah, but what he played his card. He went for his moment, and now, not saying he's relevant, but I'm thinking, hey, what's next? Now I'm hearing that his next fight is potentially against Deontay Wilder. I'm like, raw, like, again, you know, when you start to hear a name and it's like, oh, hey, this is it, perfect example. I don't know when you watch music videos, but before we knew Kanye West, yeah, he was in all the videos, fam. You finally realize me like, raw, you know what I'm saying? He
you've
keeps
been here
seeing
this
him.
whole time.
You've been here this whole time, and all the man them need to do is let us know I'm here. I'm in the mix. Like I'm always part of it. I'm part of the Pulsar Boxing, and you know you need to talk about me, and that's all they get. Force us to give you attention because you're all here. You're all vying for a position, and if you wait, you're not gonna get it. So now you have to do like what Wilder and Fury did should be a case study because AJ was the face, and them man forced themselves in position and got the big fight just over saying that that guy is not the real guy. Well, they did it. Like, however you feel about it,
they
they
squeezed
did
him
it.
out. They
They
squeezed him
squeezed
out.
them out. They achieved it. So, and that they made themselves relevant in a heavyweight division when we said, right, there's no real heavyweights again. And now there's a new team. There's a new crop of guys. They need to get busy. They need to do stuff. But yeah, let's keep it moving, man. That was an interesting one. Still, enjoyed that one. You lot get involved in the comments. Let us know. What was that question you just asked? How many spaces are there for
How many
superstars?
spaces are there for superstars? Yeah, because I don't feel like there are that many. As much as I know what you're saying, I honestly don't feel like there are that many. I think there's enough. We've got enough attention reserved for a certain amount of fighters to be these overbearing superstars that we follow wherever and whatever they do. And then some guys earn it a different way. Like you look at Dan Aziz. I don't know that Dan Aziz is going to be the casual superstar on the basis of my personality, my profile. I'm showing up everywhere. It's going to be his brand is hard work, don't care,
Hard
head
work,
down,
fighting.
I'm on smoke, head to chest,
Fighting.
and I'm going to get busy. That's what we're going to show up for him for. And I think a lot of guys don't know what it is about them that can push their thing forward.
Yeah, because it has to be honest. The one thing about your thing, it just has to be real. The reason why we appreciate like a Dillian, for instance, is it's very authentic. Like it or not, when he speaks, you know, like even the way, even the accent, everything, all the delivery.
They planned it. They planned that.
It's not planned. It's very authentic. All we need to see is authenticity. They will say, you know what? Yeah, I can get behind this. And that's what I'm saying. If you do you properly, who you are, it's fine. I'm not saying everyone should pretend to be Muhammad Ali, but yeah. Anyway, we keep it moving.